Have you ever wanted your own TV show? Have you dreamed of showcasing your talent for the world to see? Well, now you can. Have your own TV show. For only $99, you can have your own 30-minute show. Not only will you be seen in the Detroit area, but you can be viewed worldwide. Be seen on WHPR Detroit Live, Comcast Cable Channel 91, on the web at tv33whpr.com, with the TV33 app, on Roku, Google TV, Apple TV, and on Amazon Fire TV. Act now. Time slots are limited. Sign up today and get a free replay with the purchase of your time slot. For more information, call 313-868-6612. Visit our studios and receive a free TV interview to promote your business, church, or organization by appointment only.
You wouldn't have to go anywhere because this is the Talk Beat Jones and This is the Talk Beat Jones, and I am Billy E. Jones, and I want to thank you for joining us today. And, you know, family, I just want to say to you, starting off 2021, I want to live. I want to live. I want to live. And I'm sure many of you want to live, and you want to have a greater life in 2021. So we're just going to put the other part of our lives, just put it behind us. The sadness, the disappointments, etc. Start off fresh and put a smile on your face. And for those of you who are looking to improve your appearance, improve your health, Coach Jones, that's right. Coach Jones is coming back for you also in 2021. Many of you know about my Jones Decides program, but we're going to come out and we're going to coach the world. And one of the first things that we want you to do is put the hand up and say, I want to live. I want to live. Not do I just want to live, but I want to get healthier. I want to do things greater. I want to be better. I want to see myself in a greater light. I'm going to take my time, and I'm going to take time and take care of me. Remember, when you get on the airplane and they put that air down, that cup down, that for your nose, for your mouth, they tell you, don't worry about the baby. Don't worry about, don't worry about nobody. Just worry about you first. Do you first. Then take care of everybody else. You got to take care of yourself first before you can take care of anyone else. That's true in your own personal life. So family, you're going to hear about all the diet programs. You're going to hear about all the different workout gurus, etc., etc. But I want you to know, you're Jones, man. I'm here. Billy E. Jones. Jones Decides? Nah. We're not going to do the Jones Decides. We're going to do the 2021 version of I Want to Live. That's what it's about. And want you to make sure that you share this program because, again, as I stated before, you've noted, we have some tremendous information coming out over this program, the Talk Beat Jones. Remember, let your friends know we're on the air out of the Watkins Broadcasting. Let's put it this way. It's the Watkins Broadcasting Company out of Highland Park, which is why I'm saying it this way. Highland Park, for those folks who don't know, is known as the capital of Detroit. We sit right on the border of Detroit. And remember, Highland Park is known for us around here as the capital of Detroit, Michigan. Detroit. Your friends can watch us on Amazon, Echo, Apple, Roku, and all of the other modalities. And I just want to get that out because I'm really excited. I'm really, really excited. I've got my co-host on, ready to go, I'm sure. Is he ready to go? Leo,
I'm here.
You there. So let's get ready to get your intro so the people will know that the voice that they're hearing is Mr. Leo Brazil of Oakland, California. And I have to give the intro for those who don't know. And remember, every week we try to bring on new folks who don't know who you are, who don't know who I am. And so, folks, I have Mr. Leo Brazil. Give us your credentials somewhat, Mr. Leo Brazil, so that they'll know they're talking to somebody that is going around the world that people need to hear.
No, Billy, I don't have any credentials. You have to give them the credentials. You are the mouthpiece. I'm just the answer.
All right. Well, here's the answer man, Mr. Leo Brazil. And I'll start it this way. Mr. Leo Brazil, back in the day, was the leader over at Merritt College. He also was with the original Black Panthers, Mr. Huey Newton, Mr. Bobby Seale, and there, of course, is Mr. Leo Brazil. Mr. Leo Brazil, of course, is still an activist in the city of Oakland, city councilman, 2 times right there, and city of councilman is always a councilman, is always doing things for the city and for his people. Also, he is a attorney for almost 30 years, and he has been on boards of housing divisions, etc. And what did I leave out, Mr. Leo Brazil?
Well, I'm just a black man in East Oakland, 77 years old.
Oh, also teacher?
Yeah, I did that too.
Mm-hmm. And a man that I grew up, this is going to sound funny, folks, but I grew up admiring this man, because, again, Oakland, when we were coming up and the Panthers were starting, etc., before we get into that, Leo, why did the Panthers come together and put together the breakfast program, and that the world is emulating, the United States emulated later, but why did the Panthers originate that program for folks, the breakfast program?
Well, the Panthers started off as a protest to the Oakland police brutality. So that's the thing that everybody remembers. They remember that they were challenging the Oakland Police Department for the things that police departments are still doing today all over the nation.
Mm-hmm,
the difference was the Panthers came out with guns because they were the Black Panther Party for self-defense. And so that self-defense was the right to carry arms and to watch the police in terms of what they were doing out on the street. And that's what caused all of the controversy, because they went up to the state legislature to protest a law that they were trying to disarm the Black Panthers for carrying the guns.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And after all of the controversy and everything, one of the things that came out of the concern for the community was health care, sickle cell anemia, and feeding people and so forth. So the Breakfast for Children program was started to help children going to school from poverty areas to have a good meal in the morning so they could at least, not go to sleep the first class they were in.
Right. And it's hard to sit up there and your stomach is growling and, we know about the stomach growling. And in fact, the stomach stopped growling, just what it's called, just ache and arch and just, and you're trying to study, trying to think about it, and didn't get no good rest last night, the night before, and you're hungry. And
the first thing is that the government finally decided they were going to take it over and stop it. So they took it over and started meals for children all throughout the nation. So that was where it all started.
Okay, all right. Just wanted to give folks some little background in terms of that breakfast program and where it originally started from the Black Panthers right there in Oakland, California. Now, Leo, Mr. Leo Brazil, before we get into Georgia, there is a situation with because when I come to Georgia, I'm going to just turn you loose and I'm going to be quiet, brother, because they tell me, say, Billy, you run in your lane. If you're not the best in your lane, step aside, let somebody else pass the baton, let them do it. And I got the man who is he's the anchor man, Mr. Leo Brazil. Mr. Brazil, real quickly, and family, if you choose to want to call and talk, I believe we may have another line open at 313-365-7327 is the number that you may be able to get in on, okay? But we have a situation now with this situation in 20 is that they have made it so that people are drinking. And they said that it's really taking effect on the women with drinking. Do you feel, or do you think, or maybe the members out there, family, can call and let us know, is this something that was just temporary, or is this a habit that we're going to have to try to work and look at our ladies that have gone and start taking more than one glass of wine? What do you think, Leo?
Well, I don't know. I hadn't heard that, Billy. You talking about just drinking too much and or just alcoholism? Because alcoholism is a sickness and it needs to be treated.
Well, let's do the differences. Alcoholism, like you're stating, is when you just love to take that drink 5-7 days out the week. We're talking about when people had a routine, you know, they were working, and to take the edge off, they may come in and may take a little glass of wine and just relax. Now the state, I'm speaking on what the news is speaking on, is that now they're taking not the one glass of wine, but they may be taking 3, 4, 5 glasses of wine. The alcohol sales are way up, is what they're reporting.
Well, we're in a stressful situation right now, so maybe it's temporary because of this COVID thing, you know, putting a lot of people in isolation, and isolation is causing them anxiety, and they relieve the anxiety by, you know, smoking a cigarette or drinking a glass of wine or snorting cocaine or whatever, you know, habits that people get into.
And that's what it is that, you know, if you have a small habit and it's there, but you had that discipline of going out to work or going and being out with folks, you had that time element. Now it's like you're home.
Or some people will eat, you know.
Oh yeah, we want to get to that, Leo, because again, we're going to have to help the people that have put on a whole lot of weight. And we're going to talk about those folks who were size 7 who have jumped up to a real big size 9 and 10 now. And us guys who have put on that 20, 25 pounds or 30 pounds or more of muscle.
And the same thing for children, because they're at home, you know, and so being at home, they don't get a chance to get out and play and have gym class and that kind of stuff. So they're sitting at home eating snacks and all kinds of things.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So I tell you what, we're going to have to continue to have that happy feeling, that good feeling, that feeling that I want to live, that feeling that I want to take care of myself, that feeling that I love me. And believe me, I love me enough to stop doing the things that I was doing that was taking me out of here. Okay, so you've got to make that feeling too. You got to make that decision that I've got to stop doing the things that are not good for me. That's you. Okay, and Leo.
Yes, sir.
What about dating in 2021? You know, it used to be you could go to the grocery store and see a beautiful lady or a wonderful lady or a lady of interest, and you could just kind of figure out a way to see her in the vegetable stand or see her in the meat department or the milk department and try to find a way to have some conversation with potentially getting a telephone number for further conversation. Now it's like, do I try to talk to her, or do you think that she's going to talk to me? Because what's going to happen when the masks come down? Or, what's going to happen here? I mean, what's the health issue? Do you think
Well,
that?
I'm 77 years old, so I'm not in the dating game. Lost my lovely wife about 3 years ago, and so I haven't been attracted to any females or anybody else. So I'm not in that game, so I don't know how to talk about it these days, except this Me Too movement had me kind of worried. Back in my day, I'd probably be called an alpha male. I don't know.
Yes, you were. Yes, I mean, let's be. That's what I said. Linnell and talk. Yes, sir. You are. That's why you were with Bobby Seale and Huey Newton, etc. Because you guys were the alphas, and you were, had all of the other brothers following and trying to. Because we trusted your visions, we trusted your thinking, we trusted what you were doing for the community, for black folks. So yes, sir. And of course, power gets you recognition from the opposite sex. We know that. Go right ahead, sir.
Well, again, I wouldn't know today how to, compliment a lady because, they take offense, some of them, that you are somehow, making sexual advances toward them as opposed to you just, complimenting, their God-given beauty or something. So I don't know. I don't want to speak on the dating thing because I'm out of that, thank God, on both ends of the question.
I brought it up just because since we're going around the world as well as local, etc., we know that that question is on a lot of men and women, their minds at this point. They're talking about all of these sites that you can go on the telephone and computers, etc., but that old school of seeing the person, reacting to the person, and trying to get together with the person. We're just kind of wondering how is that going to work out in 2021. I know that the sex drive, the men drive, the woman drive is still going to be the same. But how are we going to utilize that? Because the computers is fine, the telephone things is fine, but when you see that in person, you get that drive. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that was that question. Now, as we're moving along, we got one other question here before we get into that Georgia on my mind. The question here is, we have they've been reporting that the healthcare folks are not all willing to take the injection, take the vaccinate, take the COVID shot. They saying that they're getting resistance from the healthcare workers. Looking for a thought. Leo?
Yeah.
I'm looking for a thought. I know you don't know, just a thought. If you've got a situation where you've got healthcare workers who have the ability to receive the COVID-19 injection, and they're saying, no, we don't want the injection right at this time.
Well, fine. They don't have to take it.
Okay, they don't have to take it, and we're at this stage right now where the hospitals are telling the ambulance people, the EMT people, don't bring people in. If they can't be immediately resuscitated, don't bring them in.
Well, I have a problem with that part because I don't know about it. I know how it's bad in L.A. and they're saying we just don't have the capacity to take nobody in. I don't want no ambulance driver making no determination that I can't be saved.
Well, that's the process, that is the process now, but that's where this not wearing the face mask, not doing the things that's going to help keep us healthy, not following the situations that we have been dealt with, as you said, we have to do what we have to do at this particular time to preserve lives. And if the healthcare workers are not going to be, is not taking the injections, the COVID-19 injections, what is that? What type of safety net is the hospitals providing us if we're having unvaccinated nurses and healthcare workers there that says, no, we don't want the shots, but we'll still take care of the people?
Yeah, as long as they're wearing a mask and got the other kinds of things, I don't have any problem because the vaccination is meant to help them from being sick,
Okay. Okay.
not to help me. I take a shot, it ain't gonna help you. It's gonna help me.
Okay.
So if they don't want to take the shot and want to die, that's fine. But as long as they got a mask on and whatever else in the hospital that they're doing right now, I'm good with that. But I sure don't want no ambulance drivers or nobody else talking about not taking me to the hospital. If you bring me to the hospital and the doctor says, well, Mr. Brazil, I'm sorry, you're going to die, and we're not going to spend no more time on you, then fine. Put me out in the parking lot. But don't leave me at home when I call you.
Well,
Come and get me and take me to the doctor.
Well, that is the problem. They're telling me don't bring them to the doctor. Don't bring them to the hospital. That's what the orders are being given to these drivers, to these folks out there. Do not bring them to the hospitals. We do not have any beds. We have the fact that when the ambulance drive up to the hospital for those who can be brought, they are having to sit in the parking area for an extended period of time because, again, no space to handle incoming patients. So we are going into 2021 with a smile on our face, knowing that we're going to do better. Because rules will be changed as time moves on. And remember, in America, we always come out on top. How about that? Is that good?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Mr. Leo Brazil, to the world, I want to bring you Mr. Leo Brazil. And Mr. Brazil, would you kind of give us an understanding about the politics of where we are with President Trump and Georgia at this point, sir?
Well, I really don't want to mention Trump anymore because he's irrelevant. But I would like to talk about Georgia, and maybe I get a little theological because I got to give God the glory and the praise on Georgia. Because I know that God is still in the business of miracles, and that was a miracle. Because all my life, Georgia, Mississippi, South Carolina, these are racist states that my grandparents, great-grandparents, everybody else told me, you don't want to be down there. That's why we came to California in the first place, to get away from them crazy people down there. So I just knew there's no way in the world a black man was going to be elected to anything in Georgia. Look at God.
So are you saying are you saying that
not only did one senator come up, but two of them at the same time?
Hold on now. Let's take it piece by piece. Take it piece by piece. Now, did you say to me, to the world, that Georgia has put a black what together? What did they elect, sir?
A black man to be the senator, a statewide office. The whole state of Georgia he represents, not just Atlanta where we got black people in abundance, but the whole state of Georgia. I used to have guys in the military. When I was in the military, a guy from Georgia, he said, man, I live so far back in the country, they got to pump sunshine back in there.
So now break that down. So we got that black man is now the senator. And so what does that mean for Georgia at this point? Do we have one or do we have two elected officials now?
Well, we got the second one on the way. Before the day is over, believe me, they will announce that the Ossoff will also be joining him. But the point is that every state has two senators, and they are staggered because only a third of the Senate, that means 100 senators, so only 1/3 of the senators ever come up every 2 years because that's a cycle they're on with the Congress. The whole House in the Congress comes up every 2 years, and so 1/3 of the senators come up. So you got one senator doing 6 years and the other one doing his first 2 years, and they rotate, so they never come up at the same time. But in this case, because the senator from Georgia quit or resigned or died, I can't remember, but his seat was open, and so they had to run that seat in the time when the normal cycle came up. So that's why two of them came up, and that's why I say God did that, because that wasn't man, that was God.
Okay.
So the Constitution was set up where we had two senators from Georgia. Well, we knew that we couldn't even get one elected, right? But Lord have mercy, look at here. God brought us out because black folks woke up all over the South and all over Detroit and Philadelphia and all other places that your president, who is presently Mr. Trump, tried to stop everybody. He's going to try again this afternoon to challenge all of the places that black people came out and voted in big numbers. We finally woke up.
Now, how will that play with Vice President Pence during the electoral situation that he has been pressured by President Trump to throw a monkey wrench in that?
Well, again, President Trump is an ignorant man, and he's leading the ignorance. And the ignorance of this man, he doesn't know nothing about the Constitution. Unfortunately, 80% of our people in this country don't know nothing really about the Constitution. The Constitution says there's a process by which the elections are certified, and that is each state decides their own rules on how they're going to certify. And each state has certified, sent the results in, and then the next step in the process is the results goes to the House and the Senate, and the House and the Senate will then rule that we've got the certifications from the state, and therefore we accept them. Well, that's all they can do, accept or not accept. The vice president presides over that process, but he has no authority to deny the certification. And that's what Trump's ignorance, I think Trump knows better, but he's trying to play to that 75 million ignorant people out there that voted with him. That's his base out there. He hopes to peel off 25 to 30 million of them that will believe anything that Martians came down here and built the pyramids.
Now that you mentioned that factor, how would the status of Stacey Abrams, we're going to come up, how would that's good. That's good that Stacey Abrams is. I heard her speak, and I'm totally blown away, impressed with Stacey. And I also believe that when the governorship come up again, I believe that she has established a base of power. Yeah.
No, she had already had the base of power. See, that was the point. Stacey is, I call her the modern day Fannie Lou Hamer. Fannie Lou Hamer down in Mississippi tried to, register to vote and got beat up and put in jail and everything else to open up that door. And that door, a Mississippi young girl named Stacey Abrams, who was born in Mississippi, came along and ran for office in Georgia and became a leader in the Georgia legislature. When she decided to come out the legislature and run for governor, they knocked out several 100,000 black voters. Doing that voter.
She lost by 1%.
Right, but she then didn't give up. She says, "Oh, I can take an appointment and go to work in Washington or whatever." No. She says, "I'm staying right here in Georgia. I'm a community organizer." And for the last 2 years, she has been community organizing around that vote. She put together about 700,000 voters coming up into the November election that hadn't been on the rolls.
And Leo,
she then helped to beat Trump.
Leo,
and then as soon as she beat Trump and they ended up in this runoff that God set up,
Leo,
she now has knocked off 2 senators.
Okay, now Leo, I want you to come back and complete with this, but we're going to take a commercial break and pay some bills. And by the way, family, if you want to advertise with the Talk B. Jones show, specifically with this program, you can always do that. You can do that. We have been doing it for many, many, many years, and we will continue. And we'll start talking about how you can advertise with the Talk B. Jones, because, again, our program is shared. And I want to thank all the family members for all of the great sharing of the program and talking about the Talk B. Jones and, just giving out great, great love. I want to say to my brother from McClimas High School and et cetera, Mr. Mark, my brother, I got him right here, Mark Hollis. Great guy. How you doing, Mark? And I want to also say hello to my baby brother, Spud Washington, that is watching the program. And I just want to say thanks to those guys for participating and being with me. Family is all you have besides yourself. We're going to take the commercial break and we'll come back and more of the Talk Beat Jones on the Watkins Broadcasting Company right here out of Highland Park, the capital of Detroit. I'm Billy E. Jones. Be right back.
African Ease. We have an array of products to assist you in all your beauty or body needs. Do you want curly, soft, beautiful hair? Well, try our Relaxer line, designed to leave your hair soft, silky, and full of body. Or would you like beautiful, straight, shiny, long-lasting hair? Well, try our Cherry or Extreme Hold Spritz with our Cream Shine. It's guaranteed to give you that look you want. How about dry, achy feet or legs that you can't seem to keep moisturized? Well, try our African Shea Butter Foot Lotion. We have many products to help you with all phases of your beauty and body needs. For a full list of all our products, please visit our website at www.aeasysilk.com or call us at 313-277-2319.
Hi, this is LaWanda.
This is R.J. Watkins.
Coming to you to bring you some information about the #1 detox in the nation, Lemon Burn. Lemon Burn helps to turn the fat into fit. It's for you, a happier, healthier you, because you know healthy is the new beautiful. An all-natural way to improve your health. It promotes a healthy digestive system, attacks and reduces belly fat, as well as gives you energy. And to get yours today, call 313-868-6612.
Don't forget to exercise and eat right.
Watch WHPR and TV 33 when you want, where you want, how you want. WHPR is now in your pocket. Download our free app by going to the App Store or Google Play and enter WHPR TV in the search engine. And there we are. You can download WHPR TV or radio. You heard about it. Now come be a part of it. Roku, Detroit, worldwide. Approximately 8 million viewers. We at Watkins Broadcasting care about the health and safety of our viewers and listeners. During this novel coronavirus pandemic, please protect yourself and others. Wash your hands well and often. Avoid touching your face. Cough and sneeze into your sleeve. Practice social distancing. Stay at least 6 feet away from others when in public and only leave the house when it's essential. Stay safe. You are important to us.
You wouldn't have to go anywhere because this is the Talk Beat Jones and All right, this is the Talk Beat Jones, and I am Billy E. Jones. And again, family, you going to bring it up? Yeah, I'm going to bring it up. I'm going to bring up the fact that Stacey Abrams, before I bring on Stacey Abrams, let me let the people know who's sharing the program. People are saying, where time is he on that Watkins Broadcasting Network out of Detroit? It's on the air every Wednesday from 10 a.m. Can't hear me? Can't? Okay. I was speaking to my ear. Okay. I was saying that we're on the air every Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 11. Every Wednesday morning, Detroit time. So tell your friends if they want to watch us, join the watch party. Please, on Wednesday, depending upon you, like in where Leo is, 3 hours difference, he watches that start at 7 o'clock. But Leo.
Yes, sir.
Tell us that you can continue that, but also in less than 30-some days, she raised 15 million, or how many millions of dollars that she raised?
Well, see, that's the beautiful thing about it, in terms of the awakening of black people to the political process. Our vote is our power. And therefore, if we can congregate our votes, we can either be the determiners, because if you got two groups of white people fighting each other, and you got a group of black people that are unified in their efforts, they can swing one way or the other and determine which one of those white groups works. Wins, right? That's called a swing vote.
Right.
But if you're the majority, like you are in Detroit, you are, you get to fighting among yourselves. There's two black groups, then you make the whites the swing group. They can swing one way or the other with the blacks and make them win. So we can be the swing vote wherever we are congregated. So that's what we have to do, is pull together. Now, what we have now is a situation down in Georgia where Georgia opens the door to all those southern states to show black people what our power of the vote can really mean for us. And that was the lesson that Georgia is teaching us, that how we need to get together and be united in our voting efforts. And the same way we then will move to the economic arena to understand how our dollars work together if we congregate them together.
So when you're saying when we put our dollars together, but again, going back to Stacey, that pot of money that she raised, she didn't raise that type of money when she was running for governor. Is that correct?
Right, but we didn't know about it because that was just a Georgia thing down there, you see. But the beautiful thing about it is that when they raised it to the level of the national, she didn't raise all that money in Georgia. That money came from all over the United States. I sent them money, and everybody else sent them. If everybody in Black America sends just $1, do you realize how many millions of dollars we could put together in any campaign? So that's why South Carolina, Mississippi, Alabama, Texas, all of them is in play now, brother. We can get our candidates up, and they can get money from all over the United States. And all those white people that say, I want to do something to help, I want to be an ally, fine, send that money.
Send that money. And by the way, family, if you want to send the money to support Talk B. Jones, you can send that money to 160 Victor Street, Highland Park. What's that zip code, Tim? You know the zip code? 48203. That's 160 Victor Street, Highland Park, 48203. You make it out to the TV 33 of Mr. Watkins, and the memo column, you make that out to Talk B. Jones, so they'll know it's for Talk B. Jones. We appreciate that. It's been that way all through the years, and people have been sending money to help us out. We've been on the air since 2006. And just wanted to put that in, Leo.
No, that's what it's all about.
Yes.
If you are feeding our community information that is relevant, then pay for it.
Well, you know, Leo, the thing about that is what I'm looking to do in 2021. I've been on the air in many years, 4 and 5 days out the week, and minimum sometimes 3 times a week. Been on the air, and when I'm doing the Talk B. Jones, we basically place that as a one showing a week. Now we're ready. COVID knocked us out for quite a period of time. We're back. We put the formats together. We're operating in the Virgin Islands studio. We may go back to our other studio at some point soon as some other things are put together there. And we'll be full bore. And so we are ready to say, let's bring the money. Let's take the Talk B. Jones. Let's bring us on at least twice a week. And let's go ahead and be the leader that we want to be, that we are supposed to be. We're black men. We have the background to give the information to the world, to teach the world, to inform the world, to talk with the world. We have the information to be able to talk to local folks, both in Oakland, California, and Detroit, Highland Park. We want to do this. We're going to bring on folks from Detroit that, because, again, things are local. We want to make sure our local folks are highlighted on the Talk B. Jones show. Of course, we want to make sure that Mr. Leo Brazil continues highlighting the world situation and teaching us. Mr. Leo Brazil, I'm through giving my little speech. Coming back to you. Let's go back to politics.
Okay. What's your question?
My question is, since Georgia has pulled this off now, or is about to pull this off, what's gonna happen to Mitch McConnell? Is he gonna go away, or he just won't have the power?
Well, you see again, that's the Constitution again. The Senate is one house of the Congress. When you say Congress, Congress is two houses. In order to get a bill passed, you got to go through the House of Representatives, which is all 2-year members. Every 435 of them represent 2 years in Congress, and they have to come back to the people every 2 years and be ratified. That's because they're the only house that can spend money. Then you got the Senate, which represents the states. And each state has 2 senators, no matter how many people they got in it. And that's unfair as far as I'm concerned, because you got North Dakota and South Dakota. Between those 2 states, they have 4 senators. And between those 2 states, I don't think they got 4 million people in them.
But that's
But
okay.
we got 40 million people in California, and we only get 2 senators.
Okay, but let's deal with what we got.
So Mitch McConnell is the majority leader because the Senate is the majority of the people in the Senate right now are Republican. And so he is the majority leader. And as the majority leader, he controls the bills coming to the floor. And so that's why he plugs up the bills. No matter what they pass over in Nancy Pelosi's house, when it goes over to the Senate, Mitch flushes them down the toilet.
Now we got that.
So he got to go. And therefore, they organized the Senate around who's the majority. Since there is no majority, they're 50-50 split now if Ossoff wins this race. Then the rules say when there's a tie, the vice president, who is the presiding officer of the Senate, is the tiebreaker.
Now is that
makes Kamala Harris the tiebreaker,
Okay.
and the Democrats then will rule the House.
And so Mitch McConnell will still be there, though, right?
Represent Kentucky.
So he will be fighting with all of his folks that have been his allies on behalf of Trump. And people have to remember that he is still a Trump guy. And there's another guy out here that you're going to have to keep your eye on that has stepped away from the spotlight, and that's Barr. Barr is not out of Trump's camp. Believe me when I say that. There's some more organization that's going on here. But my concern again is how much influence will Mitch McConnell have now that he will not be the person in charge of making sure the bills are passed or flushed down the toilet?
Well, Mitch will not be able to stop the judges' appointments. That's what he wanted more than anything else, and that's where he's been most influential. All judges are confirmed by the Senate. The House of Representatives have nothing to say about judges. So federal judges are cleared by the Senate, and Mitch has pushed through a couple of 300 or so judges in the federal courts since he's been there with Trump. Mm-hmm. So we can stop that right now and start then bringing in some judges especially to the Supreme Court. See, Trump got 3 judges through the Supreme Court because of Mitch in that Senate blocking up everything.
Okay.
But Mitch will play a role because unless you got 2/3 of the Senate to pass bills, then they're subject to a filibuster, meaning that in the House, you only have a certain number of minutes to speak. But in the Senate, you can stand up on the floor all day long, and you got the floor until you relinquish it. So that's what a filibuster is. If I don't want a bill to pass and I know I don't have the votes, I can just stand up and speak against it and just stand up there for hours and hours and days until somebody finally quits.
So we have to understand that even though Mitch McConnell will not be that person in charge, Mitch McConnell will still be a big thorn in the side of Joe Biden,
Right.
President Joe Biden.
Right.
Mm.
But all that means is that Mitch will not be able to pass anything, but he'll be able to stop things. So if you want to stop him from stopping things, you got to then find out what he wants to pass. And then you say to him, we'll bargain. I'll pass this for you if you pass this for me. And that's what Joe thinks that he can do with Mitch. We'll see.
So we go back to the old political style then.
Mm-hmm.
Something for you, something for me.
Mm-hmm. Quid pro quo, they call it.
Now, your boy, your guy, your man, our friend, President Trump, has already said that if Vice President Pence don't do what he wants him to do, he's a great guy, but if he don't do what he wants him to do, he's not going to think too highly favorable of him.
Right.
So
He's just trying to intimidate all the guys that are going to try to. Pence is going out of politics, but all the guys like Cruz and all of them who are going to be staying in and want to try to run 2 years from now or 4 years from now, Trump is letting them know that of that 75 million that I have, if I can keep control of at least half of them, you ain't going nowhere in the Republican primary unless you kiss my ring. And that's all he's doing is establishing for them, I will punish you if you don't go along with my program.
So is that what the Republicans that are going to stand up against the electoral vote counting, is that what they're doing? Is saying, I'm in with you, Mr. Trump.
Yes.
Put your money behind me. You can count on me. But
Right.
the ones that are saying no, those are the ones that Trump will be going after. Do you think that? Because he has some people.
Of course. That's what he has to do if he wants to stay relevant. He got to be able to threaten them in the Republican primaries. When the Republican primaries, that's when you run against people in your own party for the nomination of your party.
Okay.
And if you can get somebody like Trump who got 30 million fools, I mean damn fools, who are just, like I said, believe that Martians built the pyramids, then that makes you a threat. And so that's why they don't want to get on the wrong side of him. Romney and all the rest of them are scared of him for that reason.
So we may have a purging going on in the political Republican Party under Trump.
Well, yeah, we can ready to have a civil war because, see, the Democrats want to love everybody. They want to be in love, but Republicans want to be in line. If you out of line, they come and get you, boy. And so they get ready to start slaying each other for a while, and Democrats need to sit back and let them. And just like all those people that's coming to Washington to protest today, we don't need these counter-protesters out there meeting them to show that they are anti-racist. Stay at home. Let them people go out there and demonstrate and let this vote go through for however long it takes. But if you go out there and meet them and try to protest against them, that's what they want, because then they can start a fight and cause a riot, you see? So stay at home. We have won this thing. Do not go out there. Now, the people that go out there are going to be white people. They're going to take a few of their Negro sycophants with them, but they're going to be anarchists. Anarchists always want to cause trouble. They don't want the system to work. They want to make sure that there's always chaos going on. So when some of these white boys show up in their black outfits and everything with their mask and everything on, they're only out there to provoke those Trumpsters into fighting.
Let's go back real quickly, and you can come back to this. I'm just doing a reversal. In Oakland, California, when he was having those riots, etc., were those the folks, citizens of Oakland, that was doing those rioting, or were those outside infiltrators that was coming and leading those riots? Those
you mean recently?
Yes, sir.
Because we didn't have no riots.
I mean, demonstrations
out there in the
okay.
street, and some people started breaking windows and everything else.
That's what I'm speaking of.
We now know because that one brother that got killed in the federal building there. We now know that that was the Proud Boys. You see, if you're going to get out there in the street and have a peaceful demonstration, they come in and infiltrate in the group and start breaking windows and everything, then you are on the media getting the blame for so-called riots. And there is no riot. That is the Proud Boys infiltrating your group. And they will be the ones that will be in there with these anarchists if they hit the street today in Washington, and they will provoke the other side so that it can be shown that, oh, the left is violent. No, the left shouldn't even be out there today. Leave it alone. Stay away from those fools. Let them go to the street and do what they got to do. And Muriel Bowser and her police department and National Guard will handle them if they get out of control.
That seems to be the message, Mr. Leo Brazil of Oakland, California, that everyone that's of responsible nature is telling everyone else, do not go to do a counter protest. Let those folks get out there, and let the ones that want to act like you get out there and do what they're going to do. And they'll be found out, like the ones in Oakland. That's why I understood that those folks that was arrested, they didn't have Oakland addresses. They were from out of town.
Yeah, they're anarchists. Anarchists go to Portland, go to anywhere just to cause trouble because they want to destroy the system. They don't believe in the system. They don't believe in working within the system. And so if we are trying to work within the system, which we've been trying to tell people, you got the power in the system. Your vote is the power if you just exercise it. And at long last, Georgia proved to us that if we get up off our butts and go out and register and vote and get to those polls, we can win. And if we can't win, we can determine who the winner is by being the swing vote.
Now, how can we translate that to our local elections?
Oh, we've been doing that since that's what the Panthers was all about. When Bobby Steele ran for mayor of Oakland and didn't win, he at least, because he had that breakfast program and all these other things, got people that was poor who normally didn't vote because they didn't see nothing in it for them. But because they were getting them groceries and everything from the Panthers, they registered to vote. Mm-hmm. And when they registered to vote, Bobby Seale fooled around and knocked out a black middle-class millionaire who was running for mayor and ended up in second place in the race and in a runoff just like they did in Georgia.
And you know the guy Green you're talking about, right?
Otto Green, right.
Yeah, I actually coached his son at Fremont High School in football, yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Otto was a good brother,
yes.
you know,
mm-hmm.
and a community brother in Oriented. He and Ron Dellums were partners in consulting and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
But he wasn't grassroots.
Right, right.
And now, therefore, Bobby came in and rose and got the grassroots to come out and vote because they normally wouldn't vote at all in local elections. And that's the problem we have. See, that drop-off. We'll vote in the national election. We'll vote in the governor's election. But we don't go down ballot and vote for district attorney or dog catcher or sheriff or city councilman or school board member. And that's why we get our butts kicked, because those smaller entities control millions and millions of local dollars.
We are going to, as folks who are just coming into meeting Talk B. Jones don't realize through the years that we have been participant and participating in the political ranks, participating in the folks here that are looking to try to generate votes in Detroit. It's not easy because there is division, there's a power structure, and then there is the people who are wanting to have a fair process. Power begets power, and power do not want to let go of power. The people are saying, let us be in charge of our own destination. We're going to be involved, family. I want you to know that Talk B. Jones, we will be bringing folks in talking about the local election, the folks who are running for election, etc. And of course, we have Mr. Leo Brazil who will be able to talk on it. And we will also have the telephone lines open so that if there are folks from anywhere around the world, and I want the folks to know from around the world that when we give you a telephone number, from wherever you sit, wherever you lie, wherever you're vacationing, wherever you're working, you can pick up your phone and you can call us and talk, and it don't cost you nothing. Don't have to worry about that. Call and talk. And what we want to demonstrate and what we try to demonstrate here on the Talk B. Jones, you don't have to have that Robert's Rules of Order in terms of speaking, talking, how you speak words and et cetera, and your diction. You don't have to worry about that. Just talk how you normally talk to whomever you speak to. As long as you're not cussing, we can deal with that. We can deal with that. We're not going to say, did you hear what they said? Did you hear how they cut their verb and their and everything like that? We don't care about that. We want you to be able to talk and express yourself. Mr. Leo Brazil, who is highly, as you can see, intelligent, highly qualified to be able to talk on any, he can talk flatland, highland, your land, whatever you need. We can handle it on the Talk B. Jones. I am Billy E. Jones, and of course the co-host is Mr. Leo Brazil, speaking to you out of Oakland, California. Of course, I forgot Mr. Leo Brazil was a Soul Beat television talk show host. How about that? Go ahead, Mr. Leo. Got anything to say? We got about 5 minutes.
Well, like I said, I'm so glad that we have matured politically to where we now see, in fact, the whole world got a chance to see that black people are a political power in this nation if we aggregate our votes. Now I'm hoping that, like I said, I struggle with social, and we had to get together to social challenge integration and into the system. Then we moved to political and tried to take over and move into political, and we've done that. But now our struggle is economic building, and that's where we've got to aggregate our money and support each other with our dollars.
Speaking on that,
if we got 40 million people, 40 million black people in this country, and each one of us just send $1 in, that's $40 million overnight.
You know, that's great. That's really wonderful. And we're going to spotlight black business. We're going to have actually a process where I'm trying to get it completed in my mind, how I'm going to spotlight black business on the Talk Beat Jones. That's one thing that we must do, is try to work for our black business. And when I say black business, we're talking about female business, but we also have to help other folks. But first, if you don't help yourself first, as I spoke on in the very beginning about going on the airplane and they tell you how to, when that air mask drops down, that's trouble, y'all. And the first thing you would do is take care of yourself first. So if you take care of your first self, which is your people, other people, of course, are going to gain from it. But first, you have to deal with trying to uplift our own selves, our own people. That's your pride. And you see, it's like working out. We can slack off. We can let our skin get saggy. We can let our muscles get atrophy. Or we can keep our skin looking good. We can keep our muscles in shape. We're not getting no big muscles, but we can get muscles that work for you, work for us. And one tip going into those folks that I got to lose this weight. Well, one of the first things to do is put your regular food plate away. Take that regular food plate away. And you know what? You know that little salsa? That's what you eat. That's what you fix your plate. That is your plate. Why? It's a form of behavior modification. I'm going to show you how it works. I'm going to show you how it works. People may have heard of Simeon weight loss clinics. People may have heard of medical weight loss clinics. People may have heard in years past about Dr. Alfred Ferris. People may have heard about the different weight loss clinics. Well, let me tell you real quickly. This guy, Billy Jones, I was the black guy that those companies chased. Why? Because I was effective in helping folks lose weight. They lost weight with the guidance of Billy E. Jones. So that's what led me to take it not just to the weight loss, but the physical part, which brought in the workouts. We're going to talk to you about that. And I'm saying this, folks, to let you understand that between Mr. Leo Brazil and Billy Jones, we've got things coming that you say, what? Can they do that? I can't lie. I got folks from Oakland, California, where I'm from, who know. If Billy is lying, he's lying. I can only tell you the truth. And the truth is going to astound you, because the truth always will set you free. You want to say goodbye, Mr. Leo, to your folks?
Well, I enjoyed it again, Billy. I'm here to serve, brother. Call me up and let's talk about whatever, and let the people know that they should be calling you in, and so that you will not have a few lines, but hundreds of lines open where people are calling in to share their knowledge, because I don't want to just hear me and you talking all the time. I want to hear from them out there, especially the folks in Detroit, because we're very much interested in our brothers in Detroit. We don't hear much about them out here on the West Coast.
Well, that's.
And I don't know how much you hear about us on the East Coast or the middle,
but here's what we got to do.
It's a great vehicle that you set up here for us to talk to each other.
All right. Got to let you go, Mr. Leo Brazil in California. This has been for you, family. Make sure that you share this program from around the world. We appreciate you sharing. We appreciate you talking and sharing the love. I am Billy E. Jones. This has been Talk Beat Jones. Remember, every Wednesday, 10 a.m., check us out. Love you. Respect you. Bye now. You don't have to go anywhere because this is the Talk Beat Jones. And